What just happened? You got Dan and Jules here. And today we're talking season 2, episode 9 of Severance called The After Hours. What a banger of an episode.
Sure was, man.
So good. And it sets up the finale perfectly. And by the way, guys, we're doing a finale pre-show, 7 p.m. till the episode drops next Thursday. If you didn't know they come out on Thursdays at 9, they do. It's Apple's dirty secret. They always drop the episode the day before they say they do at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern time up until the episode drops. So a little bit before 9 so we can get ready and watch. Me, Jules, and Xander. It's going to be a great time. Can't wait to do it and can't wait to talk to you guys about the finale. But yeah, this was a great episode. Everyone who's upset last week, I'm sure they're right back on board.
I hope so.
Right back on board.
They packed a lot into this episode.
You got a lot with basically every character. There were so many little things to me that stood out that were awesome. I was super happy with this episode. I think it was one of the best ones yet. I can't wait to see the IMDb rating for it. I texted you. I was so hyped. I thought it was amazing.
It took everything in me not to text you for like every scene.
Yeah, that's how I was too. All right, let's get into it. So starts off with Helena. She's swimming and then she goes to see her dad, Jame, and he calls it a momentous day because this is the day that Mark was supposed to finish Cold Harbor.
A momentous day.
And we do find out that, yeah, they would kill Gemma after that. So that's crazy. Well, we kind of guessed that, right? We kind of knew that was going to be what was happening.
I feel like they kind of allude to that.
Which doesn't mean her innie would die, but I think it's definitely the end of Gemma as we know it once he finishes the file.
It seems like that, yeah.
And next week is Cold Harbor. He promised he would go back to work, so we'll see. He's going to have this conversation with Miss Cobell at the cabin. There's a lot to go with there. But did you catch the part when Helena said,
"We're seeing to Mr. Bailiff"?
That is Irving's last name. So Bert was supposed to take care of him. He was supposed to drive him somewhere to take care of him, which he didn't. And I watched the after credit stuff with Ben Stiller talking, and Ben Stiller confirmed that Bert helped Irving. So he saw that they loved each other and he wanted to help him. So he didn't do what he was supposed to do. Now, he told Irving in a later scene he never actually hurt anyone, but he would drive people to get her. So that's what I got from it. Yeah.
That's what I mean, I gathered.
Really interesting that he went the other way with it. We'll see if Bert gets in trouble from that now. Then he watches Helena eat one hard-boiled egg. Wish she would eat them raw like Kier does, because remember, Kier's favorite breakfast is 3 raw eggs in milk.
I wish you'd take them raw.
Which is gross. But that's his favorite breakfast.
1, that's disgusting. 2, I hate hard-boiled eggs.
I love them.
Oh my God, no, I hate
last
them.
night. 4 last night.
That's excessive, Dan.
I know.
Is your GI tract okay?
No.
But they freak me out. I don't know. I'm not a fan. And I just hate the way she ate them with a fork and knife like that.
With a fork, cutting them up.
Stop
Like, just
it.
pop them in your
Stop
mouth.
it.
Just pop them in your mouth. Yeah.
It's
that
like
was
even the way
ridiculous.
you eat is uppity. Stop.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And she talked about playing both characters, how she takes them both seriously.
Yeah.
But they're so different from each other, so it's a challenge. And Britt Lauer just really crushes it.
She nails it.
Such a good job. I mean, she's got to be cast in something else besides this. I got to see her in something big.
I hope so.
Like a big movie or something like that. She's doing such a good job. She's really killing it. So then we see Miss Wong is ending her Wintertide Fellowship early. And Eustace is her first name that we find out. And she got a Jame Egan bust, similar to what Cobell got when she finished hers. And she's moving to the Gunnell Egan Empathy Center to work on...
Well, you will work to steward global reforms.
She's going to resume her duties for the day, and a shuttle will pick you up at dusk. So it seems like Milchick's just kind of getting rid of her. He's had enough.
Yeah. I can't imagine that he didn't have a hand in that.
Yeah. I think he was like, let's get her out of here. Then he's like, by the way, you have to do a material sacrifice that goes along with you graduating. So give up your ring toss game and smash it. A bunch of times. That poor girl, she had to smash the game that she always liked to play. Felt so bad.
It's just so culty. Everything
It's
about
so
this is
culty.
culty. And like, what is it with like the again, do it again, do it again.
Yeah.
Again.
They got to drill shit into your head.
It's like the break room when they make you apologize 1,000 times.
Yeah, it's true.
And there's a scene that reminded me of that later too. I'll talk about it when we get to it. And then Dylan's wife's a cop, Gretchen. She's a cop. You see the uniform she had
I don't
on?
know if she's a cop or if she's like some kind of like security.
It said 911 on the badge.
Did it? Then
Yeah.
probably, yeah. I didn't look that close at it.
I kissed your innie.
Beg pardon?
And we talked about it, me, you, and Xander, about is this cheating or not? And he took it as it was cheating. He was very upset. So
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
I don't know how I would feel.
Well, and especially when she said, well, he reminds me of how you used to be.
Dimensions of fuck.
He reminds me of how you used to be.
Okay.
How
What
it used
a
to be, yeah.
gut punch. What
Yeah,
a
that's
gut
true.
punch. How did she expect that not to backfire?
Yeah. So he's like, all right, then I'm gonna quit, and then you'll never see him again. Basically, I'll end his existence, bitch. That's the way he took it.
I don't know. Maybe I just go quit. Maybe I go in and I quit and I just end his existence. How about that?
Checkmate,
So-
though, you know?
Yeah, for real. So then we see the ramifications of that when she goes to see him later. But then we see Irving. I was so worried for him this whole episode. Watched this episode with my wife. She was like, if they kill this guy, I'm going to riot. Because they did set it up. They set it up to make you feel that way, right? You kind of felt like he was not safe. And I got that feeling. So we see
100%,
Radar.
yeah.
Radar, his dog, is like on alert. And then Bert's in his house. And he has all his notes on the people that work for Lumen. One including Bert saying he could be a goon, maybe. But he also said Lumen may be covering up deaths.
Also connected to several recent disappearances or deaths.
Which they did with Gemma.
Seems
Not
like
cover
that's
up.
definitely something that they do, yeah.
Something that they do, yeah. And
They
that's,
orchestrate a lot of situations to end in their favor.
Yeah, right. So he's like, all right, let's go for a ride. And I was so worried. I was like, that seems like a mob movie where
I
let's go for a ride.
know.
And then someone gets him with the piano wire from behind.
Oh my God,
And,
stop.
yeah, that's what I was feeling. I was very worried. And then we see Gemma. See her on the testing floor. Dr. Maurer is looking at the file of Cold Harbor. It's still at 96%, and the final quota was promised today. So he tells Drummond this. He calls Milchick and says, get Mark here now. Helly is the first one at the office. Then we see Mark. He's in a car with Devin. Doesn't look 100%. Seems to be, feeling the reintegration process a little bit. Seems a bit sick. Looks like he's going through withdrawal. That's what I
Yeah.
got from it.
Yeah, it did look like that.
That's what he looked like. And then basically she's like, oh, you're saying my plan's a mistake? And her plan is to meet up with Miss Cobell, go to the birthing retreat, talk to the innie, see what they can learn, which is a good plan. So
I think it's a good plan. I mean,
It
what
is.
else are you going to do?
what else are you going to do? You got to trust Cobell at this point. It's your only move. It's the only thing they can do.
Hey, it's like, worst that happens is you're still screwed,
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, but we told Cobell everything and she told us shit. We can't trust her. So fair point, Mark, but they park to meet her. She's not there. Maybe it's a trap. Milchick calls. Devin says don't answer it. So that's what we get for now. And then Helly just burst into Milchick's office. Yo, she was awesome in this scene,
I
dude.
loved it. I loved it.
Awesome. She was
the
taking
sass
no
from the
shit.
entire cast in this episode just
Yeah.
so empowering. I loved every second of it.
So good. She's like, what's up with the nosebleeds? Why he wasn't here yesterday. He's not here today. Tell me what's going on. And he's like, no, can't do it. That's protocol. And he calls her Helly R. And she's like, don't you mean Helly E?
Don't you mean Helly E?
Helena Egan is my employer. You are my subordinate.
And then
Okay.
love her. And then on the way out, he's like, leaves the door open. She slams it.
Leave it open.
Oh, so fun. I will say though, Milchick got a lot of just like disrespect, just very
Yeah.
apparent disrespect in this episode.
Yeah, that was not his day. Definitely not his day.
Mm-mm.
All right, this sad scene. Gretchen is with Dylan, Innie Dylan. I told you about us. I can't see you anymore. He threatened to quit. Then he sadly gets down on one knee, basically proposing, says, I love you. I can give you a life.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah. So what does that mean? I can give you a life. Does that mean he wants to take over being the one in control?
I think he just means that he can give her a life that she is happy with. You know what I mean?
happy with? Yeah. Yeah.
She could bring, the kids and they can hang out there, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how he would do that from Lumen, but
From Mark. Yeah. Yeah, but he was heartbroken because she says sorry and leaves. So Helly says to keep the ring and give it to someone you meet down here. He's like, it's just Owen D and the goat people. What do I got to work with down here? So he's done at this point. And then she brings up Irving's message. You know, he told you that for a reason. And then he's in such a bad mood. He goes, well, it's your fault you're down here in the first place. We couldn't even tell it wasn't you. She goes, Irving could. And he says, Mark couldn't.
Mark couldn't.
So, yeah. So he's upset. And I get it. He just got his heart broke.
Oh, so do I. But like, damn.
Tough episode for Dylan. And what happens later, we'll get to it. And then Cobell meets up with them finally, asks Mark how he is.
Oh my God, so good. My wife's being held prisoner at Lumen, and I just got brain surgery in my basement.
That's how I would feel too.
How have you been?
So Devin wants to go to the birthing cabin right now. Cobell's like, no, we gotta wait till it's dark out. Plus, we don't know if he completed the file, what file Cold Harbor. If he has, she's already dead. So that's when we get the confirmation that they would get rid of Gemma in some way, turn her off. I don't know exactly how. We'll find out in the finale. That's what they gave us. They gave us that information. Mark freaks out. He's like, what are we doing here then? Let's go get her. And they're like, no, that's not how it works. She says, call Milchick, say you're unwell, you won't be coming in today. Devin says, we gotta trust her. It's for Gemma. She knows where she is. And Devin's right.
She is right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like their only lifeline at the moment.
That's it. You have to trust Cobell in this moment. You have to.
I feel like when they say they're going to be getting rid of Gemma, basically, I
Yeah.
feel like they're just going to basically turn her completely into her innie.
Yeah, me too. I'm with
So
that.
she's going to be Miss Casey like all the time.
Yeah, I'm with that. And by the way, guys, get your final theories in. We got time for one more theory video. We could make two since it's the last week. So get your theories in. What do you think's going to happen in the finale? And we'll make a final, maybe 2 theory videos. We would love to hear from you guys. So Helly goes to the Hang In There poster. I love that she was on the mission this episode. She's like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. So she gets to the drawing, and then Dylan says, fuck this place. This is when he decided he's going to resign. And we see Irv is with Bert, says, I never hurt anyone. I would drive people places. I don't know what happened to them after that. So people theorize that Bert was actually a bad guy. You're semi-right. He was I guess he was kind of a goon.
He's like a goon with a conscience.
Yeah. And Irv's like,
Is that what today is?
you're driving me somewhere and you're not going to know what's going to happen to me? And I thought yes, but it turned out not to be true. What were you feeling in that moment?
I was a little iffy. I feel like they wanted you to think that it was going to happen, like he was going to get rid of him or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like Bert and Irv had too strong of a connection for that. Like, I feel like even their Audis had such a strong connection that I didn't think that Bert would actually do anything to harm him.
The last scene with those two broke my heart, man. Really
Really
emotional episode, wasn't it? It was emotional.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was like wholesome and just like tugged at your heart.
Yeah.
So good.
And gave you so much. Every character got enough that you were like, okay, this is awesome. It was really great television.
Yeah.
I love this episode. Really great. And you know, the last 2 were world building episodes. You know, not so much the Gemma episode. We needed the Gemma episode.
Yeah,
we needed that to see what was going up with her. People were upset about last week. I still think it was an important episode. Yeah.
I mean, I can see how they could have like condensed it to quite a bit and not done the whole episode about that.
What they could have done is done that and had other stuff going on and kept going back and forth to her.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was only
agree.
37 minutes. So they could have added 15 minutes more with other stuff going on.
Yeah.
You
No, I
know?
don't know if that would just like be too confusing with the storyline, but I think it would be easy enough to follow. But I do think that episode was important. I think it was important that we got that background.
Yeah. And we learned that she created Severance and she's behind everything. She doesn't get credit for it. It was important, but I see the criticism. Okay. That's fine.
Sure.
So Dylan signs his resignation request. He says, hand over the key. And this is what he does with it. Drops it right on the table.
The diss.
Yeah.
Great.
Milchick getting shit on. Okay. And then Miss Wong says, I'm sorry. And he says, it's not your fault. So they're cool. Milchick gets shit on some more. So Drummond's pissed. This was what was supposed to be Lumen's finest day, and it's your fault. He goes, I followed protocol. He makes him apologize for using a big word again. And then he says, I apologize. He says, no, shorter. I'm sorry. Say it again and again and again. Just like the break room. Just like that. So that reminded me of it too.
Oh, and like you could see just his like Milchick's blood just boiling.
Yeah.
And
This
was so good.
So him turning is like more out there now, right?
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
it's more out there. Yeah.
And what was the phrase that he used?
I'll clip it in right now.
Devour feculence.
It means eat shit. So
First of all, I love that I was very proud of myself because I didn't need to Google that.
It means eat shit, Mr. Drummond.
As soon as he said that, dude, Dan, I was like, yes, like cheering.
Yeah, me too.
Like my neighbors were probably like, what the fuck is going on right now?
I loved it.
I'm pretty sure verbatim I said, hell yeah, Milchick.
Yeah. It's like he finally, and then he's like, look, I manage the severed floor. I deserve respect, even
like,
from someone like you.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
You could feel the catharsis.
Big word. There you go. And then he keeps using big words and he says, hey, look, not my fault what he does when he's not at work. That's actually your fault. So good for Milchick. Stand up for yourself, dude. He was eating shit all episode and he finally put his foot down. Yeah.
I loved it.
Good shit.
Oh, it felt so good.
So then Mark calls him and he gets to his office just in time. At first he says, hey, look, I'm at a clinic. I'm worried about my nosebleeds. Let us send a car. You deserve care from Lumen. We'll take care of you. And then he goes, you know what? I'm not sick. I just needed a day. It's life stuff. It's just work anyway, right? At the end of the day, it's just work. Milchick looks at his poster and goes, you promise you'll report tomorrow? I promise. I'll be there tomorrow. You think he goes in? I think he has to for the finale.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if he doesn't, they're definitely sending someone after him.
Yeah, true. For sure. Because they need that file done.
But I think he's going to have to. I think we have to see that file completed next episode.
Completed and save Gemma all in one episode.
Or at least mostly completed. You know what I mean? Like right on the verge of being completed.
How are they going to save Gemma? Get your theories in below. Can't wait to read them from everyone. Get your theories in. I can't wait to read them. It's so exciting. So cool. This gets me so happy. I loved it. I love this stuff. So he says he'll be in tomorrow. And then we see the scene with Bert and Irv. He's like, look, get on a train and never come back to Kier. Never come back to this town. I was severed so I could be innocent. So that tells us he does have a history of violence per se, right? And my innocent part fell in love with you. And Irving goes, well, I've never been loved before. Well, now you have. How does it feel? So very sweet and touching moment. Yeah, very nice. I felt really bad for him.
I know.
And he goes, don't you want to know how it felt? I want to. I'm ready. And Bert goes, we can't, basically a couple times. We can't. I'm like, no, it can't happen.
We can't. We can't.
They shake hands. See you later. So that's it for them. He gets on the train.
That can't be the last we see of Irv. So
no, definitely not.
How do you think he comes back into the story?
Either he's going to come back or they're going to learn that Bert didn't do what he was supposed to do and they're going to send someone after him.
Whoa. Okay, yeah.
Because Helena said
the second one.
Yeah, because Helena said they were taking care. Helena said they were taking care of it and Bert didn't do what he was supposed to do. So either he lies his way out of it or they're going to know.
I feel like it's also twice as likely because Mark's going to come in the following day and be like, where the hell is everybody?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Too. Yeah.
So
true. And Helly by the end of the episode. All right, we're getting there. Yeah. So Miss Wong is getting picked up to go to her new place. Irv is on the train with Radar. I'm happy at least he has his dog with him. And Dylan steps in the elevator. So it's like everybody's leaving. And it's dark now, so they can go to the birthing retreat. And Helly is memorizing the map to the exports hall to get down to the testing floor. But once she gets down to the testing floor, she would be right back into Helena. Because that's how it works down there. You're your outie down there. That's
I guess
the way
anywhere
I take it.
but the severed floor, she would be Helena.
Right, exactly. Yeah, as soon as she gets down there, she'd be Helena. And then what would she do as Helena, Yeah, because Gemma's Gemma down there. When she goes into the different rooms, she's different personalities. No, she's Gemma. The nurse calls her Gemma. That would mean if that's the same, then Helena would turn right back into Helena once she got down there. So it's going to be, it gets foiled. All right. We're right at this point right now. So Jame shows up because she's memorizing the map to the exports hall. Jame, her father, shows up and says, Helly, you tricked me. And she goes, what the fuck?
Why, Helly? What the fuck?
Like, who are you? So what's he going to do with her? Reprimand her in some way? I don't know. But that gets foiled by the end. So then next week is going to be so good They have so much set up, and I can't wait to see how they stick their landing. And I say it like that because I know they're gonna stick their landing.
Oh,
I know it.
100%. No doubt.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be amazing. Can't wait. Can't wait for the live stream. Talk to everybody. Get those final theories. So I guess we have like more than just a theory video because we have the live stream and we can talk all about it 2 hours before the show starts.
Yeah.
It's gonna
I'm
be lots of
excited for
fun.
that. I'm really excited for that.
So am I. That's the most excited I've ever been for a live stream. I can't wait to talk the finale, especially after this episode. Oh my god! So, all right, so they get to the birthing retreat. Cobell pulls a fast one. Says she's one of James. So does that mean James knocking up chicks?
She's one of James. No one's to know.
So I think he's having kids on the side, which is gross.
Oh, he's like 1,000 years old.
Yeah, that's gross. But I think that's what I got from that.
I mean,
So
that checks out in my brain.
it does. So then she says, specialties department, and Cobell says, I'm looking for a gold thimble. So she still knows all the words to say to get what she needs to get. She's looming through and through, but she's turned at this point. This lady doesn't know that, so she gets her way. They get in, and then boom, Mark's in, he wakes up. He's very confused.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like,
Hey, Mark.
what is going on? He tries to leave. She's like, if you leave, you're just going to come right back in. So just stop. Just stop. So what am I doing here? You're going to find out. They walk upstairs. Do you remember what the last thing you said to me was?
She's alive.
We see Cobell waiting there to talk. And I'm guessing that's how next week's going to open up with those two talking. And they hash it out, come up with a plan to save Gemma. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I that has to be where it leads, right?
Yeah. Which I'm all for. Sounds fun.
I feel like if it comes down to it, Cobell will sacrifice Gemma to get whatever her end goal is, which I assume is
You think
to
she
get
would
like
do that?
herself recognized as like the creator of this, you know?
Man, I
Right?
hope not, but I could see, yes, I could see that happening, but I hope not. I hope she's totally on Team Mark and Devin at this point.
I don't know. I feel like she's just always holds that little bit of suspicion with me.
Yeah, you can't
'Cause
totally trust her.
She's just everybody at Lumen is just they're just like very self-centered. Like everything they do is to benefit them and they don't care how that affects other people. So I feel like she's just using Mark, basically.
You could be right. I hope you're wrong. You could be right. So, all right, this is when you guys come into play. Get your theories in. What do you think is going to happen in the finale? We're going to read as many as we can. Can't wait to see what you guys say. Love this episode, Jules. Loved it.
Loved it. Absolutely
So
loved
good.
it.
We got one more left. We're also covering Yellow Jackets. I'm doing White Lotus. We're going to do White Lotus theory videos together as a team. And we got possibly The Last of Us coming out soon. We're talking about it behind the scenes. Yeah. So, all right. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you next week for the finale. Can't wait. See you then. Later.
Bye, guys.
Mr. Drummond. But I thank you for your remonstration.
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
That just happened.